And this might be super, super outside the norm. And if it's way outside the norm, welcome to real estate. So this whole process of studying and getting ready for the test, we'll talk a little bit in a future video about how to prepare for the test and actually some different tips and tricks of what to look for when you're interviewing brokerages. But there are some things you can be doing right now to prepare yourself for real estate success. So many years ago, I had a chance to go to a real estate conference. It was in San Francisco. And the keynote speaker was a guy named Gary Vaynerchuk, or also known as Gary V. And I remember his message, and it was very clear. He said, those that are in the real estate space, you are a media company. And he said that like every single one of you is a media company. So what I want to instill in you is this concept is that as you get into real estate, you're going to be sharing information with your market, with your community, with your friends, with your family. You will be a disseminator of information, and you're going to be sharing content with them. Now, the mistake that a lot of people make when they get into real estate is they turn themselves into this weird, like only talk about real estate all the time type model. And think of it, if you're a media company, and if you're actually a media channel, and with the things you're sharing, if you only talk about real estate all the time, you're going to come across as some sort of weird infomercial. So what you want to start to do right now is to start to create a conversation, even if it's looking at your social media presence. Think of the fact that if you are not on social media, you might want to look at getting into it. And if you are on social media, the question would be, what are people seeing as your interest right now? And what I would encourage you to do is to start to build up your brand online. And we're not talking about real estate yet. We're just talking about you as an individual. If I were to watch and look at your Instagram, or you look at your Facebook, or if I was to look at your TikTok, or whatever the channel is, if I were to look at that, what are the 5 interests that you have that are key to you? What are the things that you enjoy doing? And what I would encourage you to do is really spend some time on sharing content and the things that you like. And what you start to do is you're going to create a following of people who are like-minded to you. So maybe you're like, for me personally, like I like to barbecue. That's a fun thing for me. I enjoy basketball. I lived in Chicago till 6th grade, and then I grew up in New Jersey. So I have different sports teams that I follow. My wife and I, we adopted our first 2 kids, and so we're involved in adoption. And I have different interests that my kids are involved with. And then I do some stand-up comedy, and that's like an interest of mine. So for me on my social media, it's easy for me to share concepts like that, because now my audience, and by audience, I mean like the people who are following me, the ones who are consuming the content that's being created, they can connect with that. And that becomes real to them because that's something that they want to ingest. That's something that they want to consume. And then when it comes to real estate, because right now, maybe you're a couple months down the road from getting your real estate license. Great. Well, when that time comes, it makes it easy to start to drop in little snippets about real estate. And maybe in the time being, you're going to talk a little bit about you and getting your license. Maybe you'll talk a little bit about the journey of you going through to get your real estate license. And at some point on the road, you share that you have your license now. And what you're doing is just using the real estate as almost like a commercial break in the messaging that you're giving to your followers. So again, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You're going to have to get used to getting uncomfortable. But this is just an idea to keep in mind, is that start to build your social media followers of the things that you like to do. It'll be way easier to introduce real estate as a commercial for all the content that you're sending out to the market.